Since the dawn of history, people have dreamed of conquering one thing: death itself. From emperors searching for magic potions, to modern billionaires pouring fortunes into biotech labs, the obsession has never gone away. Everyone wants to live longer. Some dream of living forever. But what if immortality isn't some futuristic dream? What if nature has already solved the problem, and the answers have been here all along? In the deepest oceans, across hidden islands, and even drifting silently in the current, there are creatures that break every rule we thought we knew about life. They don't wither from old age like we do. Some can rewind their life cycles. Others have existed for centuries, quietly outliving empires, kings, and civilizations. They are the closest thing we have to living time machines, beings that stretch our understanding of what it really means to be alive. I'm your host, and this is Cosmic Science. In today's journey, we're exploring the animals that seem to have unlocked the secret to eternal life. From turtles older than nations, to sharks that drifted through history's biggest events, to jellyfish that can literally reset their bodies. Together, we'll ask, can studying them reveal how humans might one day cheat death too? And if you want more tips like this, make sure you hit the subscribe button so you never miss a discovery. To begin our search for nature's longest living creatures, we travel west of Ecuador to a group of volcanic islands you've probably heard of before, the Galapagos. These islands are home to one of Earth's most famous survivors, the giant tortoise. When explorers first arrived in the 1500s, they were astonished. They wrote about strange landscapes of cactus and lava rock, and of course, enormous tortoises crawling slowly across the ground. Some of these gentle giants lived for well over a century. In fact, many comfortably reach 150 years, and some even longer. Their slow pace of life isn't just about how they move, it's also how they age. For a long time, scientists didn't know why tortoises lived so long. But in the last decade, researchers revealed a few fascinating clues. One major factor is their metabolism. Unlike humans, who burn energy quickly and generate damaging byproducts inside our cells, tortoises rely on sunlight to regulate their temperature. Their metabolism is slower, meaning fewer harmful molecules build up in their bodies over time. Less internal wear and tear may help keep them healthier for decades longer than us. Another secret lies in their genes. When researchers studied DNA from the Galapagos tortoises, they discovered extra copies of certain protective genes, ones linked to repairing DNA, fighting off cancer, and boosting immunity. On top of that, tortoise cells are unusually quick to destroy themselves if they become damaged, stopping dangerous tumors before they ever start. The most famous of all, Lonesome George, became a symbol of his species. When he passed away in 2012, scientists examined his DNA and found remarkable traits tied directly to longevity. George's legacy gave us a window into how nature engineers resilience. In these slow-moving giants, we see the first hints of how life bends time, not with magic, but with biology fine-tuned over millions of years. From the warm volcanic islands of the Galapagos, let's take a giant leap to the opposite extreme, the freezing, dark waters of the Arctic. Here, time itself seems to slow, and in this silent world, another ancient creature drifts, the Greenland shark. While tortoises may live a century or two, the Greenland shark takes longevity to an entirely new level. Scientists believe these sharks can live at least 250 years, with some possibly reaching close to 500. That means a single shark alive today may have been swimming when Shakespeare was still writing plays. For centuries, nobody knew their true age. Unlike other sharks, Greenland sharks don't have hard bones or spines with growth rings to count, like trees. Instead, their bodies are soft, making age estimates difficult. It wasn't until 2016 that scientists unlocked the mystery by studying the proteins in their eyes. These proteins are formed before birth and never change, like little biological fossils. By carbon dating them, researchers discovered one massive female was nearly 400 years old. So, how do they last so long? Just like tortoises, one answer lies in their slow metabolism. Living in icy water, they grow less than a centimeter a year and swim at a sluggish pace. less than 3 kilometers per hour. Their entire biology runs in slow motion. This unhurried pace means their cells don't break down as quickly, protecting them from the damage that usually comes with age. Imagine it. While human generations rise and fall, the same Greenland shark calmly glides through the same waters, century after century. They are true living relics, quietly carrying history in their bodies. From tortoises walking slowly across the land to sharks moving ghost-like in the sea, nature shows us that slowness itself might be one of the greatest secrets to longevity. From the drifting ghost of the Arctic, we now dive into a different kind of deep. Far below the waves, where sunlight never reaches, forests rise up, not of trees, but of coral. Among them lies one of the oldest known animals on Earth, black coral. At first glance, black coral doesn't look black at all. Its outer branches are golden brown, delicate, and tree-like. The black lies hidden inside, forming its skeleton. These corals grow in clusters across the sea floor, creating underwater forests that stretch as far as the eye can see. And within those forests are colonies that have been alive for more than 4,000 years. Think about that for a second. When these corals began growing, ancient civilizations were just starting to form. Empires have risen and fallen. Languages have been born and lost. Yet these corals have remained, silently building their skeletons micrometer by micrometer each year. Unlike shallow water corals that rely on sunlight and algae for energy, black coral survives by capturing tiny drifting particles in the dark. This slow, steady way of feeding may be one reason they endure for millennia. They avoid many of the stresses that kill off other reef builders. Scientists studying their growth rings, yes, much like trees, found individuals over 4,200 years old. Their skeletons expand at such a slow pace that time itself seems frozen. Black coral teaches us another lesson about life and longevity. Sometimes survival isn't about speed or size, but about patience. While tortoises creep across land and sharks cruise through oceans, black coral simply waits in silence, enduring everything the planet throws at it. From the deep forests of the sea, our journey now takes us to another ancient being, one so strange it can outlast even the corals. A creature that has been alive since the Ice Age. From the quiet forests of black coral, we stay beneath the waves, but this time we head to the cold southern seas of Antarctica. Hey, on the ocean floor sits one of the strangest and oldest animals alive, the Antarctic sponge. At first, it may not even look like an animal at all. Still, these silent beings hold lifespans that make even 4,000-year-old coral seem young. Some Antarctic sponges are thought to live for 10,000 years. Others may reach nearly 15,000. To put that in perspective, when the very oldest sponges alive today first settled onto the seafloor, mammoths still walk the earth. So, what gives a sponge this unbelievable lifespan? Once again, the secret may lie in slowness. The Antarctic sponge grows at a pace that is almost impossible for us to imagine, measured in millimeters over centuries. Their bodies are built of silica, forming intricate glass-like structures that look more like frozen sculptures than living tissue. Without nerves, muscles, or organs, sponges survive by pumping water through their porous bodies, filtering out tiny food particles. Their simplicity may be their strength. With fewer moving parts, there's less that can go wrong. In the freezing Antarctic waters, where metabolism slows to its lowest levels, their lives stretch on and on, untouched by time. One species, nicknamed the giant volcano sponge, can grow taller than a person and stand like a ghostly tower on the seafloor. These sponges are so still, so patient, that they almost blend into the surrounding landscape. Yet their cells quietly work, year after year, century after century. If black coral are the ancient trees of the deep, sponges are its frozen monuments. They remind us that life doesn't always need to be fast, complex, or even mobile to last. Sometimes, stillness itself is survival. And yet, as impressive as thousands of years may be, there exists a creature with an even greater trick. Not just long life, but the power to start life over again. From the icy monuments of sponges, we now move to something far smaller, almost invisible to the naked eye, floating gently through warm oceans, no bigger than your fingernail, lives one of the strangest creatures ever discovered, the immortal jellyfish. Its scientific name is Turritopsis dorni, and at first glance, it looks like any ordinary jellyfish, transparent, delicate, with thin tentacles drifting in the current. But beneath its fragile appearance hides a power no other known animal possesses, the ability to reverse its own life cycle. Most jellyfish live predictable lives. They begin as tiny larvae, settle down as polyps, and then grow into the familiar medusa form, the floating jellyfish we recognize. Normally, that's the final stage. But not for Turritopsis. When faced with stress, injury, or starvation, instead of dying, it does something incredible. Its body collapses into a tiny blob, and within a day, it transforms back into a polyp, the earliest stage of its life. From there, it can grow into a new medusa again. In theory, this cycle can repeat forever. That means the immortal jellyfish doesn't die of old age. It has found a way to press nature's reset button. Scientists call this process transdifferentiation, where one cell changes into another type entirely, as if a skin cell suddenly decided to become a nerve cell. For humans, that's like an adult shrinking back into a child, growing up again, and repeating the process endlessly. Of course, these jellyfish aren't truly invincible. They can still be eaten by predators or wiped out by environmental changes. But as far as biology is concerned, they've cheated death. The immortal jellyfish challenges everything we thought we knew about aging. It shows us that life doesn't have to move in just one direction. And if a creature so small can pull off such a miracle, what else might nature still be hiding? We've met tortoises that carry centuries on their backs, sharks that glide through history, corals older than civilizations, sponges frozen in time, and jellyfish that can hit the reset button. But what ties them all together? And what can science learn from their strange biology? One clue is metabolism. The tortoise and the Greenland shark both live slow lives. Their bodies burn energy at such a low rate that they produce fewer harmful byproducts, molecules that damage DNA and accelerate aging. A slower pace means less cellular rusting over time. Another clue is protection at the cellular level. Tortoises, for example, carry extra copies of genes that repair DNA and fight cancer. When their cells detect damage, they don't hesitate to destroy themselves, preventing disease before it begins. Humans don't do this nearly as efficiently. Then there's environment. Corals and sponges live in deep, dark, cold places, shielded from the stresses of light, heat, and predators. Their bodies grow slowly, replacing parts of themselves over centuries. This calm stability seems to stretch their lifespans into the thousands. And finally, we have transformation. The immortal jellyfish shows us something radically different, not just slowing aging, but reversing it. By reprogramming its cells, it starts over again and again, while we're nowhere near doing that ourselves. Studying this process could someday unlock new treatments for regenerating human tissue or fighting age-related diseases. Put all these lessons together, and you see a pattern. Nature has evolved many paths to longevity. Some rely on slowing down, some rely on protection, and some, like the jellyfish, completely rewrite the rules. For scientists, these animals aren't just curiosities. They are living laboratories, models that might one day teach us how to push the limits of our own lifespans. But that raises a bigger question. Even if we could live as long as these creatures, should we? After seeing tortoises, sharks, corals, sponges, and jellyfish bend or even break the rules of life, we're left with the big question: what about us? Could humans ever share in these secrets of longevity, or even immortality? Science is already trying. Researchers are studying the genes of long-lived animals to see if we can copy their tricks. Could we engineer stronger DNA repair, like the tortoise? Could we slow our metabolism safely, like the Greenland shark? Could we one day reset our cells, like the immortal jellyfish? Each idea feels like a step toward a world where aging isn't inevitable. But here's the deeper part. Even if we succeed, taken a journey across the planet, meeting creatures that bend time itself. What we do with that time is what gives it meaning. Here on Cosmic Science, we'll keep exploring the mysteries of nature, the universe, and everything in between. Because the more we learn, the more we realize we're only scratching the surface of what's